Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur, healthcare practitioner, and MBA, Jason Duprat.
This episode is sponsored by my free presentation for the Ketamine Academy. If you're tired of long hours, constantly being on call, or having to give up your nights, weekends, and holidays, all for an employer that only thinks of you as a productivity number that they're trying to maximize, then it's time to break free from the hospital grind, become your own boss, and finally take control of your professional trajectory. It's time you start your own practice. I know it sounds really scary, maybe even a little impossible. I get it. You got student loans, you're working tons of hours, and you may not even be a physician. Well, I am here to tell you that it's absolutely possible. Starting my own clinic was exactly how I started my healthcare entrepreneur career. And there's one specific type of clinic that almost anybody can open. Ketamine therapy is one of the most promising treatments in the fight against depression, PTSD, and chronic pain that we've ever seen. And thousands of patients across the country are looking for clinics in their area. The problem is that there aren't enough yet. And these patients need someone like you to open a ketamine practice in your hometown. Go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation for a no-cost 60-minute training on how to gain more freedom by opening up your own clinic. On the presentation, you'll discover why opening your own private clinic is a better decision than working more overtime or going back to school for another degree, why this one specific niche clinic is the easiest to open and doesn't require a bunch of cash to start, and how anyone can open this type of clinic, even if you're not a physician, by just following a few simple steps. So to register for this free training, just go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy podcast. I am your host, Jason Duprat, and we are back here for another Tactical Tuesday. And on this one, I just want to share with you a little bit about my experience with overcoming a slow internet connection. So if you guys are following me at all on social media, you probably know that I've moved from Southeast Jacksonville to country town called Osteen, Florida, and it's sort of in between Orlando and Daytona. And along with our move, we have a wonderful house. It's 2 years old. Absolutely love it. It's like the farmhouse style. It's got 5 acres, and we love the fact that we have more space. But what comes along with living sort of in a more rural area is that the internet connection is terrible. And when you're trying to do online business, anything video, especially, or audio, or anything that's download heavy or upload heavy, it's something that we've been struggling with because the internet is just so stinking slow out here, and there is nothing coming in the foreseeable future as far as faster internet goes. So, as all entrepreneurs do, we've come up with a solution. We've done research. We've figured out what we can do to make things happen so that way we can run our business from the home office. Initially, until we came up with a solution, I was actually driving. It was about 35 minutes away to Lake Mary in order to essentially lease one of those office spaces that has moderately fast internet. I think they were pulling like 70 megabytes a second there or something. But we had to pay $25 a day, $25 an hour, or $125 a day to lease that office space. And so for podcasts and anything where I was going to be doing a lot of uploads or downloads, I'd have to rent that space and then drive to that space. So that's 35 minutes there, 35 minutes back of basically really wasted time, very inefficient. Tried to make the most out of it by listening to podcasts, but wanted to find a solution. And what we came up with is a software called Speedify. So if any of you are looking on ways to overcome slow internet speeds because you're in a rural area, or maybe you're even just traveling and wherever you're traveling to has slow internet connection, this is a pretty cool tool. They're not a sponsor. I don't get anything from recommending them. It's just something that's worked pretty well for us. So what we had to do was not only install 2 hardline connections. So we have a detached garage, and above the garage is an apartment, and that's where I run all the business stuff out of. So we had an internet connection running to the house. We had to pay AT&T to come out here and run a second one to the apartment because they're only getting about 11 megabytes a second download. And about 1 megabyte per second upload, which is terribly slow. So we now have double that. We have 22 megabytes per second upload or download, and then 2 megabytes per second upload. So essentially, by installing 2 lines, we've doubled our speeds, which is better, but still is not working right for our live streams. And so we found this tool called Speedify. So Speedify. And what this tool does is it essentially aggregates multiple internet sources, and super cool tool. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. It took me a while to find it, but it will bonds internet connections. So what I did is I bought multiple Wi-Fi adapters, and essentially these are like little USB things that you can get now. They're about $9 a piece. And so I've created hotspots with my cell phones. So we have a business cell phone and my personal cell phone. I create 5G hotspots on there, which has pretty decent internet speed. And then with those 2 extra Wi-Fi adapters on my computer, I can connect to each of those simultaneously. And then I also have Ethernet cables plugged into my computer. And so we have the landline and then 2 Wi-Fi. So we have 4 internet connections that are bonded together to get us download speeds. I just ran a speed test and we're getting about 42 megabytes a second download. And I think it was about 4.4 megabytes a second upload. And so we're about to test it again. And I'm pretty sure with the second landline that this should give us the speeds that we need to have successful live streams from our home office. And so if any of you guys struggle with that problem, I'm sure some of you do, live in more rural areas, or if you travel a lot, this is super handy because you can do super fast downloads, uploads, and do live streams without a problem, as long as you get enough connections whose total bandwidth meets the needs of doing live streams, which seems to be, somewhere around the 40 megabytes a second minimum to get some decent quality. So we're going to test it out again. And so far, the live streams work. What we've had so far, we didn't have the 2 landlines, but they were a little bit choppy. And for some reason, the last one I did had some weird voice thing. I don't know if that had anything to do with what we're doing here, but if I'm not doing live streams, everything else is super fast and it's working great. So I hope you guys, if anybody's, like I said, rural, traveling, get some value out of this episode. Super handy, and it'll definitely help you overcome your slow internet speeds, so that way you can run successful business from anywhere in the world if you have an online business, which is phenomenal. One of my favorite things about having an online business is that it can be run from anywhere, and I can do these podcasts from anywhere. I can manage my courses from anywhere. So pretty unique way to run a business, and it's becoming more and more popular. And so anyways, guys, I wanted to say thanks for tuning in. If you are not a part of our Facebook group, we have the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy Facebook group. To find that group, you go to jasonduprat.com/group, and there's a button right there that says join. Alternatively, you can just go to Facebook, and in that search bar at the top, you can type in Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, and it's a network of other healthcare professionals who either have businesses. There's several people. A lot of the podcast guests are actually joining that group. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of experience, a lot of businesses, and then there's people that are just getting started. So no matter which category you fit into, that's a great place to hang out and communicate and get advice and things like that. So it's an extra resource for the podcast listeners. I'm in there all the time, and we're going to start doing some of our Tactical Tuesday episodes live from the group. So look forward to doing those, and I look forward to interacting with you guys. Anyways, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy podcast. We will catch you on the next one.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.